And I looked in the mirror and I saw something was different and something felt different. And I turned and did things. I was like, what's going on? I couldn't see it because it wasn't part of my understanding of anything. And it took me quite a while to realize I could not move half of my face. And I was just terrified it was going to spread to the rest of my body because I didn't know what I would do. And if I was going to fall over, I didn't know who was going to be there to catch me because anyone I'd felt close with all my life and was not there. The doctor in the foreign country told me, oh, it'll probably go away in 3 weeks. And I thought, okay, great. But then I was back in Germany and they did more tests and they said it'll never go back to normal. And it was awful because I couldn't even pronounce my own name properly because it requires the lips to come together. But this alone had a great influence and changed everything, changed my life. It begins when I was 18, at a very vulnerable age, when how you look is perhaps one of the most important things. Not to everyone, but on average, when we are 18, we're starting to connect with the outer world in a different way. Our brains are still changing in these crazy ways, and how others perceive us, how we are perceived, carries a lot of weight, whether we are aware of it or not. I was not. I don't think I was. And one day I woke up. I was in another country, away from my family. Not that I think I wanted to be with them at that point. I wanted to be my own thing. And I looked in the mirror and I saw something was different and something felt different. And I turned and did things. I was like, what's going on? I couldn't see it because it wasn't part of my understanding of anything. And it took me quite a while to realize I could not move half of my face. And I was so far from anyone, and I was in a country, I didn't know the healthcare system, nothing. And I stood in the metro. I was studying a language at the time, and I was just terrified it was going to spread to the rest of my body because I didn't know what I would do. And if I was going to fall over, I didn't know who was going to be there to catch me because anyone I'd felt close with all my life and was not there. So it was scary, and it took a while. First it was kind of like, okay, whatever, but at some point, a few weeks later, and I came back to my family and the healthcare system I knew, and I got a more complete checkup, and I waited because the doctor in the foreign country told me, oh, it'll probably go away in 3 weeks. And I thought, okay, great. It doesn't matter that when I smile, laugh, I'm angry, you only see it on half of my face and everything looks distorted and weird now. And I look distorted and weird to others. I thought, okay, 3 weeks, but then I was back in Germany and they did more tests and they said it'll never go back to normal. And it was awful because I couldn't even pronounce my own name properly because it requires the lips to come together. And it was right at the time where I was also starting in university. I was traveling. I was introducing myself all the time. And I could not say my own name. I could not eat from a spoon. I could not drink from a cup. I needed a straw. And it was terrible. And I felt ugly. And I also had my natural inclinations, which I think were always spiritual since a very young age. And so often I ask myself, what's the lesson here? And I think this is already what some may consider spirituality. Instead of thinking of life happening to you and reacting, even responding, is to take a moment and ask, well, what's the lesson here? Why is this happening? And what am I needing? Like, it's happening to me for a reason. So what am I getting out of it? And this doesn't mean, a reason in the sense of, I don't know, awful things happen to you and they do because you need it. But rather it's this mental shift that it's happening to me or with me. I'm experiencing it. I can't change anything about it. It is what it is. And there's things I need to process, also to heal in whatever ways, because there was and it still is healing emotionally, psychologically, physiologically regarding this. But really it's going to another place where you ask them, what is the lesson here? What can I learn from this? And this automatically shifts the focus away from resisting what is, which causes more suffering, more anxiety, more fear, to exploring what's going on and delving into it. It's like what I learned also from spiritually approaching pain is when I dive into the pain and expand it, part of it or all of it, depending on, is released and goes away. And so the same was with the facial paralysis. While it never fully went away, maybe it will in the future. By diving into it, my experience of it being painful and awful went away to a certain degree. And by listening to the outside world as and seeing the outside world as a reflection of my inner world, which was something I was doing at the time with increasing intensity as I'd been studying with formally with a teacher for the first time for shortly after this happened, I believe, a couple of years after it happened, but it was still very fresh emotionally and physically, was then as I was walking in New York City wearing this beautiful, long summer dress with little strappies here, and my hair was long like it is today, and I was happy at the time, very happy, and walking. And I wasn't thinking about my paralysis or anything like that, though I did not feel beautiful. I felt ugly, but I was in my energy, and a fire truck came by, and the whole truck was calling out to me and whistling and shouting compliments. And in that moment, I had this realization that I needed, also before the paralysis happened, which was that I am beautiful. And I, for some reason, have a memory, whether it's accurate or not, of growing up thinking I'm ugly and unattractive. That is when I became aware of my looks and myself, and that others had opinions about them, and they felt mine weren't good or fitting, and I could not belong. And that was one element of why in my understanding. And this lesson of beauty I would have never received without this so-called spiritual worldview, this way of approaching things and being with things, and also being with in a container of, with a formal container with a teacher. So that definitely is one way in which it has completely changed my life. Even though my life has not changed, I still have this, it still happened. There's no way of knowing what else would have happened or would have happened. But this alone, this perception, this understanding, and also of looking at the world with a sense of curiosity and question rather than answers, and it is that, not this, had a great influence and changed everything, changed my life. If you are curious about more of this, we have a wonderful course at Magic is Key called Journey to Your Essence, which is a several week-long journey where we explore the different layers of self, including our experiences that shape our identity. And we peel them away, move beyond them and within to our essence, to our innermost truth, to this shining guiding star that we all hold within ourselves that connects us out to the infinite, to everything, and helps us feel more clarity, more compassion, more joy, purpose, meaning in our path on this world. All the information is below. And if you're new here, this is the Magic is Key YouTube channel. My name is Pipalik, and if you loved this video, then make sure to hit like and subscribe, and you might even want to click the little notification button to be updated when a new video like this one comes out on our channel. I'll see you next time.